Hello folks, it's Jonathan here. I'm going to have a nice lunch, so I thought I'd share some thoughts about this lunch with you and some thoughts for the day. Now, what more can I say other than I'm going to have a tasty little pie. Yeah, a nice little pie here. So I'll just let you feast your eyes on this pie that I'm about to try. Look at that steam rising above the pie. So you may recognise the pie. Yourselves, you may have had one. You may have seen me with one. So today I have this butter pie, and so I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be a tasty meal, as you can see. So I'm just going to begin but before I do, and I'll be careful not to drop any of it, you'll notice that I've got some healthy options on the plate too. So I've got some kale and cabbage, some nice boiled cabbage, and I've got some cauliflower and broccoli. There's that broccoli, look. And then of course you may have also noticed some onion rings. Well, there's no need to do things by halves, is there? But of course the centrepiece of the meal is the pie, so let's have a try of the pie. I'll just move the camera back a bit so you can get more of the pie action. Okay, straight out the oven, but not straight out the shop because it's been in the freezer. There it is, look, nice pie to try. Oh, I mistakenly got a bit of tomato sauce on it there, which wasn't what I wanted, so let me just cut into another bit and I'll share my thoughts with you in a few seconds. Quite tasty. I just wanted to sort of try and gauge if it was as tasty as the last butter pie I'd had. I think it is. Look at that. Lovely kale, making the pie eating healthier. And of course tomato sauce was intended for the onion rings. So there's an onion ring with some tomato sauce on it. Very tasty. Try a bit of cauliflower. Cauliflower is fresh. So the pie isn't fresh, it's fresh from the freezer. I've not been to Preston for a while. Well, I've been to Preston via passing through it. So, luckily, a while ago, I fetched a couple of butter pies back and put them in the freezer. So this is the last one. Don't have any more spare. Of course, you can't get them round here, can you? So, where I am. So, I've only been in Preston once, with like a bit of time to spare between trains in recent months. And on that occasion, it's after shop closing time, so I couldn't nip and get a pie to bring back. Just had to nip in the Old Vic instead for about half an hour, 40 minutes, whatever it was. So I'm not complaining about that in a way. But when you're running out of pie, in the freezer, you then start wondering, should I make a special trip to Preston to stock up on butter pies? By the way, it is a nice pie, and as you know, butter pies consist of tatey, pepper and onion, and butter, obviously. Not sure if it's got enough, what do you call it, pepper in it, but no, it's lovely. Nice little pie. So anyway, I so happen to be in Preston tomorrow, all being well. Can't remember at what point in time on the way back. If anyone's able to fetch me a couple of butter pies to bring home, I'd be really grateful if that were possible. So if so, just give me a shout and I'll let you know what time I'm going to be at Preston Station en route home tomorrow night. And if you'd like to fetch me pie, that would be great. I'm not sure how long I've got between trains, but I'll check. And if you want to meet for a pint, like say in the Old Vic, then that'd be nice. If we've got time, obviously. Might not be enough time for a pint. There's always time for a pie. So yeah, a nice little pie this. Pretty good. I'm enjoying eating it. And it's obviously a vegetarian meal today. So while it is a pie, it's not the most unhealthiest of pies. And of course the kale is a superfood, isn't it? I don't think I wanted to say anything else about the pie, did I? A good job I stored a couple in the freezer though, before lockdown. Speaking of lockdown, it's getting a bit scary now, isn't it? I mean, as we know, winter is coming. Sure it is. And it's only mid-September and already things are looking bleak. I mean, fortunately, weather-wise, it's a nice day today, so that kind of keeps your spirits up a little bit. But yeah, I'm sure everyone's a bit down about the thoughts of the winter ahead and not being able to mix with people as you'd want to. Because this bloody virus is on the rise again. It's going to be an awful winter, isn't it? Let's be honest. So, I think we should stock up with a few pies, you know, for a bit of pie comfort. Because pie eating can be enjoyable. So I don't want to put myself on too much of a downer thinking about this virus problem. Of course, it's best if we try and avoid it, isn't it? So everyone has to do their bit. Because it's like a lottery. You don't know who it's going to get. And you don't know who it's going to get the worst. But, well, you have been scared into thinking about these things. People are living under a cosh of fear. And it's a shame, but it's just the reality, isn't it? You see, the best thing would have been to keep this thing contained in its own country of origin, but obviously it's no good sort of getting into the blame game about these things now, is it? Well, let's hope this spreading of lockdown, well, tighter rules. As I speak, it's Friday the 18th of September. So, in the land of butter pies, you know, pubs will be shutting at 10 from Tuesday. No mixing with people from another household in their garden or house, I guess. Not in the pub either. Apart from like a communication system between one table and another. You could use sign language, I guess. So you're not really supposed to shout, are you? No singing, no shouting. There'll be no carol singers on the streets, will there? What a dismal sort of outlook. Let's hope it's, I was going to say like a mild winter, and we don't, because we don't want to have a horrible winter and then have this problem as well. But well, I suppose it'll make much difference, will it? Temperatures. But I suppose if we had a really cold winter, a nice crispy frosty winter and maybe a little bit of snow, then at least it's an enjoyable sort of winter in a different way. Quite filling me with pie, isn't it? As you see, I'm progressing through the pie, progressing through the whole plate full of food. Let's try a bit more broccoli. Broccoli on the kale and the cabbage and the cauliflower, they're all fresh and out of the freezer. It's much better taste, isn't it, than the frozen ones. What was I saying? Oh, about the winter and the terrible virus. Anyway, maybe things will get back to normal at some point, in some future point, but we don't know, do we? And the economy is going to be on its knees again if we have national lockdowns. Anyway, what I was going to say about the local lockdowns overall. We've got local lockdown there, and local lockdown there, local lockdown there, local lockdown there, and it's like, once you fill in the bits between the lockdowns, then it's going to be like a national lockdown anyway. Let's hope this balmy Indian summer weather continues throughout September though, and then at least that will give us some joy and some pleasure when we're out exercising and riding the bikes and walking through the fields and the runnings and the hills and all that sort of thing. Wouldn't that be annoying if I was sat in a restaurant and you were sat at the table across me doing this? It would be so annoying, I'm sure, wouldn't it? But there's nobody here because I'm home alone, so I'm not annoying anyone. Anyway, folks, I'm going to leave you to your own lunches, suppers, whatever you're having, teas. As I say, I'll be in Preston changing trains tomorrow. On the way to my destination, on the way back, all being well, that is. So, if you'd like to fetch me a butter pie or even two, then that'd be lovely. I'll let you know, if you let me know if you're available. I'll let you know what time my train times are. And you can meet me at the station and provide me with a pie. Or if I'm going to be in Preston for a longer duration and you fancy it, then, you know, if I've got like, let's say 3/4 of an hour or more to spare between connections, then I'd love to join you for a pie and a pint. I'll buy you a pie, sorry, I'll buy you a pint if you fetch me a pie. Sounds like a good deal, doesn't it? Maybe 2 pies. Well, it's been nice talking to you, folks. So we don't need this circuit break or whatever to control this virus. People would be more sensible. Everyone's been just getting too lax. I've observed it. I have. I think people are just not distancing, even where it's possible to distance more, they're just not doing it as much as they were. Well, it's folly, isn't it? Pure folly. That doesn't impress the virus. Well, it doesn't impress it because it's what it wants, isn't it? I mean, David Icke said this virus was so clever it could even understand a tape measure. It knew what a tape measure was. I mean, that's a strange sort of a comment in a way, because it's all we have as a tape measure to measure what's a safe distance. I mean, I guess the virus, airborne, and so if you're close and it's airborne, then you know that breathing someone's breath is a dangerous activity. If someone sneezes, then it's going to be more than a couple of metres, it will get you on it. So in a way, it's true what he says, it doesn't stick to the rules of a tape measure, as if there's that point and then no further. This with the virus, if my hand represents the virus, and it was sort of in the air because there was someone there like breathing, and I was here and someone, stay over there, and then it knows it can't get me. Well, imagine that's 2 metres. Then imagine if there was a little gust of a breeze. You know what I mean? A tape measure is a useful item, but it's a blunt weapon, because there's going to be variations, isn't there? Variations. And anyway, so it's not a clever virus because it doesn't have a like brain, does it? But it certainly is a great enemy. A great enemy is this virus. Anyway, I'm going to go. We've been talking for 17 minutes. So I'll just give you a few parting shots of what's going on with the pie. Finished the pie. And a little bit more of the veg, and then I've got the time for lunch is almost over. Anyway, nice talking to you folks. Hope you're doing well, and all the best to you. And have a nice pie at times, and not too many. Bye for now. By the way, just in terms of cooking your pies and stuff, cooking whatever you're cooking, I'm just going to share with you a little tip for safety. When I was getting the pie and onion ring tray out of the oven, you may see there I've managed to sort of like lean on the hot oven door slightly. Unintentionally, of course, but the result of that obviously is that red burn mark. So when you're if you're baking your pies, heating them up or whatever, well, I mean, if you're baking them, that's good. If you're baking a few pies of your own, that's good. I applaud that and encourage it. But if you're just getting your pie out of the oven, then, you know, do be careful and have pie safety in mind. Sorry, self-safety in mind. Well, pie safety as well, because for goodness sake, don't drop your pies. Just a word of a note, though. I did say, oh, you might not have seen it. I don't know if we've even posted it, to be honest. Been that busy with all sorts of shit, which must be done, but it's shit. The pie belly is still there, so it's getting a bit out of hand, isn't it? So I was saying anyway in this little video, which you may not have seen obviously, that I was going to start eating more veg, which I'm doing, and I was going to start getting more exercise, which I haven't done enough of yet. But I suppose it's alright. I think the video's saying I'm full now. I'm going to waste some of this cauliflower and broccoli, but yeah, eating more veg is just one part. It's eating less calories, which is the other, and that's the real challenge for us all, I guess. But anyway, as I say, if you get any pies out the oven, be careful of the hot oven. Bye bye until the next pie.